Have you ever cracked an egg into your pan, cooked it up, and thought you were doing your body a favor, only to realize you might be making a mistake that could turn the superfood into a hidden health risk? Eggs are celebrated as one of nature's best sources of protein, vitamins, and nutrients. But the truth is, how you handle, store, and cook them can make all the difference between boosting your health and unknowingly harming it. In this video, we're diving into 5 common mistakes that could be sabotaging your eggs and your well-being without you even knowing it. Stick around until the end because we're not just pointing out what's going wrong. We're sharing simple, game-changing tips to keep eggs safe and nutritious so you can enjoy them guilt-free and feel better every day. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. Number 1. Overcooking eggs. One of the most frequent errors people make in the kitchen, often without realizing it, is overcooking eggs. Eggs are a nutritional powerhouse, brimming with high-quality protein, healthy fats, and a wealth of essential vitamins and minerals like choline, selenium, and vitamin D. However, subjecting them to excessive heat can transform this wholesome food into something less beneficial, and potentially even harmful. Whether it's frying them until the edges turn a deep, crispy brown, boiling them until the yolk takes on an unappetizing grayish-green hue, or scrambling them over a blazing flame, overheating eggs triggers chemical changes that undermine their value and introduce risks worth avoiding. When eggs are overcooked, they undergo a process called oxidation, which alters their molecular structure in undesirable ways. The fats and cholesterol naturally present in eggs, normally benign or even beneficial in moderation, can oxidize under high heat, forming compounds that aren't so friendly to your body. Oxidized cholesterol, for instance, has been implicated in scientific studies as a contributor to increased inflammation in the body, a condition that's a known precursor to chronic illnesses like heart disease and atherosclerosis. This isn't just theoretical. The effects can be subtle but cumulative. If you've ever cracked open a hard-boiled egg and caught a whiff of that pungent, sulfuric odor, you've experienced overcooking firsthand. That smell arises from a reaction between the sulfur in the egg white and the iron in the yolk, creating iron sulfide, a harmless but telltale sign that the egg has been pushed past its prime. The gray-green ring around an overboiled yolk is another visual cue that the cooking process has gone too far. Now, to be clear, this doesn't mean an overcooked egg becomes poisonous or inedible on the spot. You're not going to keel over from eating a rubbery scramble or a slightly burnt fried egg. But it does signal that the egg's nutritional profile has taken a hit. Over time, consistently eating eggs prepared this way could add up to real health concerns, especially for older adults, whose bodies may already be contending with higher levels of inflammation or age-related vulnerabilities. Consider Robert, a 76-year-old retiree with a lifelong love for eggs. For decades, he started his mornings with a plate of fried eggs, cooked in a sizzling skillet until the whites were crisp and golden brown at the edges. To him, that texture and slightly charred flavor were the hallmarks of a perfect breakfast. But as the years went by, he began to notice nagging digestive issues, bloating after meals, occasional heartburn, and a general sense of sluggishness. Perplexed, he mentioned it to a friend who happened to be a nutrition enthusiast. That friend pointed him to research about oxidized cholesterol and the pitfalls of overcooking eggs. Intrigued, Robert decided to experiment. He traded his high-heat frying habit for a gentler approach, soft scrambling his eggs over medium-low heat with a pat of butter. Within a few weeks, the difference was striking. Less bloating, fewer bouts of heartburn, and a surprising boost in his morning energy. It was a small tweak with outsized rewards. Beyond the risk of harmful compounds, overcooking eggs also robs them of their nutritional bounty. Eggs are celebrated for their rich supply of vitamin B12, critical for nerve function and energy production, folate, essential for DNA repair and cell growth, and antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin, which protect against age-related vision decline and support cognitive health. These nutrients are sensitive, though, and prolonged exposure to high temperatures can degrade them significantly. Studies have shown that overcooking can reduce the bioavailability of these vitamins and antioxidants, meaning your body absorbs less of them than it would from a properly cooked egg. If eggs are a staple in your diet, perhaps because they're affordable, versatile, or a key part of a health-conscious meal plan, this loss matters. You might think you're fueling your body with a nutrient-dense superfood, But if you're cooking them wrong, you're only getting a fraction of the benefits you signed up for. The silver lining. You don't need to swear off eggs or overhaul your entire cooking routine to sidestep these pitfalls. The solution lies in mindfulness and a few simple adjustments. Cooking eggs at lower temperatures is the key to preserving their goodness while minimizing oxidation. For example, try lightly boiling them just until the yolk is set but still creamy, about 6 to 7 minutes for a medium boil, rather than letting them rattle around in bubbling water for 15 minutes. Poaching is another gentle method that keeps the egg intact and nutrient-rich, requiring only a simmer rather than a roaring boil. If scrambling is your go-to, ditch the high flame and opt for a medium-low setting, stirring slowly to achieve a soft, custardy texture instead of a dry, crumbly one. And for frying fans, a little patience goes a long way. Use a moderate heat, a touch of oil or butter, and pull the eggs off the pan before they overbrown. These techniques not only safeguard the egg's nutritional integrity but can also enhance its flavor and texture, turning a mundane meal into something subtly delightful. Ultimately, eggs remain one of nature's most perfect foods, provided you treat them with the care they deserve. By avoiding the trap of overcooking, you can enjoy their full spectrum of benefits without unwittingly exposing yourself to unnecessary risks. Small, intentional changes in how you prepare them can ripple outward, supporting your long-term health and ensuring that every bite delivers the nourishment it promises. So next time you reach for that carton, take a moment to dial back the heat and savor the difference. It's a simple step that pays off in spades. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 2. Eating raw or undercooked eggs. Many people swear by the habit of eating raw or undercooked eggs, convinced that it's the ultimate way to unlock their full nutritional potential. Eggs are undeniably a powerhouse of nutrients, loaded with high-quality protein, essential vitamins like B12 and D, and vital minerals such as selenium and phosphorus. The appeal is understandable. Why cook away what nature has already perfected? However, what these enthusiasts often overlook is that this practice carries significant health risks that can outweigh the perceived benefits. The primary danger lies in the potential exposure to harmful bacteria, particularly Salmonella, a notorious pathogen that can lurk on eggshells or even inside the egg itself, waiting to wreak havoc on your system. For the general population, consuming raw or undercooked eggs might seem like a minor gamble, but it's a particularly risky choice for older adults. As we age, our immune systems naturally decline in efficiency, leaving seniors more vulnerable to infections that younger, healthier bodies might shrug off with ease. What could manifest as a brief bout of discomfort, perhaps a day or two of an upset stomach, in a 20-something could spiral into a life-threatening ordeal for someone in their 60s or beyond. Foods that commonly contain raw eggs, like homemade mayonnaise, uncooked cake batter, raw cookie dough, or those tempting sunny-side-up eggs with runny yolks, might seem harmless in the moment. But each bite is a roll of the dice, and Salmonella contamination, though statistically uncommon, is a very real possibility that's not worth ignoring. When Salmonella strikes, the consequences can be brutal. Symptoms often start subtly but can escalate quickly: a spiking fever, relentless stomach cramps, persistent diarrhea, and vomiting that leaves you drained and dehydrated. For seniors, whose bodies are less equipped to bounce back, this can escalate into a medical emergency. Dehydration alone can strain the kidneys and heart, while the infection might require hospitalization or even lead to complications like sepsis in severe cases. And don't be fooled into thinking that a pristine-looking egg from the grocery store is a guaranteed safe bet. Even eggs that appear spotless can harbor bacteria if they've been mishandled during production, transport, or storage, or if they came from an infected hen to begin with. Let's paint a picture with a real-life example. Meet Margaret, a vibrant 68-year-old retiree with a passion for healthy living. For years, she kicked off her mornings with a raw egg smoothie, blending it with fruit and a splash of juice. She'd read somewhere that raw eggs were a secret weapon for maximizing nutrient absorption, and she swore by the energy boost it gave her. That is, until one fateful week when everything changed. It started with a nagging stomachache, then came waves of nausea, followed by days of debilitating pain and sickness. After a worried visit to her doctor, the diagnosis hit hard: Salmonella poisoning. Margaret was stunned. She'd trusted those eggs, purchased from a reputable store, for years, never suspecting they could betray her like that. It took weeks to fully recover, and the ordeal left her shaken. Determined to stay healthy without risking her well-being, Margaret made a simple switch. She started cooking her eggs thoroughly. Scrambled, boiled, or poached, always cooked until the yolks and whites were firm. She found she could still enjoy the same nutritional benefits without playing Russian roulette with her health. Since making that change, she's never had another incident, proving that a small adjustment can make a world of difference. But bacterial contamination isn't the only reason to steer clear of raw eggs. There's another sneaky drawback, a protein called avidin, naturally present in raw egg whites. Avidin has a pesky habit of binding to biotin, a crucial B vitamin that supports everything from a healthy metabolism to strong nerves, skin, and hair. When you eat raw eggs, avidin latches onto biotin like a clingy guest, preventing your body from absorbing it properly. Over time, this could lead to a biotin deficiency, subtly undermining your health in ways you might not notice until it's too late. The good news? Cooking eggs neutralizes avidin completely, freeing up biotin and all the other nutrients to work their magic without interference. Now, some raw egg advocates might argue, what about organic or free-range eggs? Aren't they safer? It's a fair question, but the answer is sobering. No egg is immune to contamination. Whether it's from a factory farm or a picturesque pasture, Salmonella doesn't discriminate based on the egg's origin or the hen's lifestyle. Organic and free-range eggs might offer other benefits, like higher omega-3 content or better animal welfare, but when it comes to bacterial risk, they're on the same playing field as conventional eggs. The only foolproof defense is heat. Cooking eggs until both the whites and yolks are fully set eliminates the danger, no exceptions. So, what are your safest options? Scrambled eggs cooked until fluffy and firm, hard-boiled eggs with no trace of a runny center, or poached eggs where the yolk has lost its liquid wobble. All of these deliver the same nutritional punch without the peril. If you're someone who can't resist the allure of a runny yolk, consider pasteurized eggs, which are heat-treated to kill bacteria while keeping the yolk soft. They're a decent compromise, though cooking eggs thoroughly remains the gold standard for safety. It's a small price to pay for peace of mind. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 3. Storing cooked eggs improperly. When it comes to eggs, many folks don't give a second thought to how they store them after cooking. It's easy to assume that once they're scrambled, boiled, or fried, they're safe to leave sitting out or toss in the fridge without much care. However, improper storage can transform a delicious, nutrient-packed meal into a potential health hazard practically overnight. Cooked eggs, if not handled correctly, can become a thriving breeding ground for harmful bacteria that pose serious risks, especially to vulnerable groups like seniors. The science behind this is straightforward but often overlooked. Bacteria thrive in warm, moist conditions, and cooked eggs are no exception to this rule. Once eggs are left at room temperature, or anywhere in the so-called danger zone between 40 degrees Fahrenheit and 140 degrees Fahrenheit, pathogens like Salmonella, Listeria, and E. coli can begin multiplying at an alarming rate. In fact, studies show that bacterial growth can double every 20 minutes under these conditions, meaning a small oversight, like leaving a plate of scrambled eggs on the counter for a couple of hours, could turn into a risky gamble with your health. For older adults, whose immune systems may not be as robust as they once were, the consequences of foodborne illness can be far more severe, ranging from prolonged sickness to hospitalizations. Consider a common scenario. You've whipped up a batch of fluffy scrambled eggs for breakfast, but you get distracted by a phone call or a task around the house. 2 or 3 hours later, you return to find the plates still sitting there. They look fine, so you dig in without a second thought. What you might not realize is that during that time, bacteria could have already started to colonize the surface of the eggs, turning a simple meal into a potential source of nausea, vomiting, or worse. This is especially concerning for seniors, as their bodies are less equipped to fight off infections that younger, healthier individuals might shrug off more easily. Proper storage is the key to avoiding these risks, and it starts the moment the eggs are done cooking. If you're not eating them right away, they need to be cooled quickly and transferred to the refrigerator within 2 hours, or 1 hour if the room is particularly warm, like on a hot summer day. Once in the fridge, Cooked eggs should be kept in an airtight container to prevent exposure to air and potential contaminants. Hard-boiled eggs, for instance, can stay safe in the refrigerator for up to a week, provided their shells are intact and they're stored properly. Scrambled eggs, omelets, or fried eggs, on the other hand, have a shorter shelf life. Ideally, they should be consumed within 3 to 4 days to ensure freshness and safety. Take the example of George, a 72-year-old retiree with a passion for meal prepping. To save time during the busy week, George would cook a large batch of scrambled eggs every Sunday, storing them in a loosely covered bowl in his refrigerator. Each morning, he'd scoop out a portion, reheat it, and enjoy his quick breakfast. But after a few weeks of this routine, he started noticing recurring stomach discomfort, bloating, nausea, and occasional cramps. At first, he chalked it up to aging or something else he'd eaten. But when the symptoms persisted, he took a closer look at his habits and realized his egg storage might be to blame. The loose cover wasn't keeping the eggs fresh, and the big batch was sitting too long. After switching to smaller batches stored in airtight containers, George's digestive troubles vanished, proving that a small tweak in storage habits can make a world of difference. Beyond the timing and containers, there's another sneaky danger to watch out for: cross-contamination. Cooked eggs might seem safe because they've been heated, but once they cool down, they're just as susceptible to picking up bacteria as any other perishable food. If you store them in the fridge next to raw meat, unwashed produce, or anything else that might harbor germs, those pathogens can easily transfer to the eggs. For instance, imagine placing a bowl of scrambled eggs on a shelf above a package of raw chicken that's leaking just a little. The tiniest drip could introduce salmonella to your cooked eggs, and you'd never know until it's too late. To avoid this, always store cooked eggs on a separate shelf, preferably in a sealed container, and keep your fridge organized to minimize risks. Then there's the matter of reheating, which is a whole other area where people often go wrong. If you've ever popped leftover eggs in the microwave only to end up with a rubbery, slightly smelly mess, you've experienced firsthand how tricky reheating can be. Microwaving tends to overcook eggs unevenly, zapping their nutrients and turning their texture tough and unappealing. Worse, if the eggs weren't stored properly to begin with, reheating won't kill off any bacteria that's already taken hold. It might even make the problem worse by giving pathogens a warm, cozy environment to multiply further. A smarter approach is to reheat eggs gently on the stovetop over low heat. Add a splash of water, broth, or even a dab of butter to keep them moist and prevent that dreaded rubbery consistency. This method preserves both flavor and nutrition while reducing the risk of overcooking. In short, storing cooked eggs improperly is a mistake that's easy to make but just as easy to avoid with a little awareness and care. By keeping them cold, sealed, and separate from potential contaminants, and reheating them thoughtfully, you can enjoy your eggs safely and deliciously every time. Number 4. Using damaged or expired eggs. One of the quickest ways to turn a wholesome egg dish into a health nightmare is by cooking with eggs that are cracked, past their prime, or improperly stored. At first glance, an egg might look perfectly fine, a smooth shell, no obvious flaws, but hidden damage or age can make it a ticking time bomb for bacteria like salmonella. This is a bigger deal than many realize, especially for seniors, whose immune systems weaken with age, leaving them less equipped to fend off infections that might only cause mild discomfort in younger folks. Egg freshness is something people often take for granted. You might pull a carton from the fridge, glance at the expiration date, and assume everything's good to go. But expiration dates aren't foolproof. Eggs can spoil before that date if they've been mishandled, or they might stay fresh a bit longer if stored perfectly. So how do you know for sure? The simplest, most reliable trick is the water test. Fill a bowl with cold water and gently place the egg in. If it sinks to the bottom and lies flat, it's fresh as can be. If it stands upright on one end, it's still edible but nearing the end of its prime. Use it soon. If it floats to the surface, it's gone bad, and you should toss it without hesitation. This happens because, over time, air seeps through the shell, forming a pocket that makes older eggs buoyant. Take Evelyn, a 74-year-old grandmother who prides herself on her careful eating habits. She'd always been diligent about checking labels and avoiding junk food, but she never paid much attention to the condition of her eggs. One morning, she cracked an egg into her skillet for her usual sunny-side-up breakfast and caught a faint whiff of something off, an odd, sulfur-like smell. Thinking it was no big deal, she cooked it anyway, figuring the heat would take care of any issues. A few hours later, she was hit with waves of nausea, stomach cramps, and a general feeling of misery. A visit to her doctor confirmed it: food poisoning from a spoiled egg. Shaken by the experience, Evelyn started using the water test religiously before cracking any egg, and she hasn't had a problem since. Her story is a reminder that even the most cautious among us can miss this simple but critical step. The risks don't stop at expiration, though. How eggs are handled before they reach your kitchen matters just as much. Eggs are surprisingly delicate, and temperature plays a huge role in their safety. If they've been stored too warm, at the grocery store, during transport, or even in your own home, condensation can form on the shells. That moisture creates a perfect environment for bacteria to thrive, seeping through tiny pores in the shell and into the egg itself. This is why experts recommend keeping eggs in the coldest part of your refrigerator, typically the back of a middle or lower shelf, rather than the door. The door might be convenient, but it's subject to constant temperature swings every time you open the fridge, which can speed up spoilage and increase the risk of contamination. Cracked eggs are another major red flag. Even a hairline fracture, barely visible to the naked eye, can let bacteria slip inside. You might not notice the crack when you grab the carton from the store, but by the time you're ready to cook, that egg could already be compromised. If you spot a crack, no matter how small, it's best to err on the side of caution and discard it. The same goes for eggs that smell strange, look discolored, like a cloudy white or pinkish yolk, or feel off when you crack them. These are telltale signs of spoilage, and cooking won't always neutralize the problem. Some bacterial toxins can survive heat. Consider how eggs get to your table in the first place. They're laid, collected, packed, shipped, and stocked, all steps where mishandling can occur. A bump during transport might crack a shell, or a store might leave a carton out of the cooler too long. By the time you bring them home, you're inheriting whatever history they've had. That's why inspecting eggs before use isn't just a good habit, it's a safeguard. Hold each one up to the light or gently roll it in your hand to check for cracks, and trust your senses if something seems off. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 3 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 5. Combining eggs with unhealthy cooking oils. Eggs are a nutritional powerhouse, loaded with high-quality protein, healthy fats, vitamins, and minerals that support everything from brain health to muscle maintenance. But even the best eggs can lose their shine if you cook them in the wrong oil. One of the most common mistakes people make is pairing eggs with unhealthy, highly processed cooking oils, turning a wholesome meal into something that could quietly harm your body over time. This is especially critical for seniors, who need to be mindful of inflammation and age-related health risks that can creep up with poor dietary choices. Not all oils are created equal, and the differences go beyond taste. Highly processed vegetable oils, like soybean, corn, canola, or generic vegetable oil blends, are staples in many kitchens because they're cheap and widely available. But here's the catch. These oils are often refined using harsh chemicals and high heat, stripping away natural nutrients and leaving behind unstable fats. When you cook with them, especially at the high temperatures needed for frying eggs, they break down further, producing harmful compounds like trans fats, oxidized lipids, and free radicals. These nasties have been linked to chronic inflammation, heart disease, and even cognitive decline, issues that hit harder as we age. For seniors, the stakes are higher. Chronic inflammation from a lifetime of eating these unhealthy fats can fuel conditions like arthritis, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease, all of which become more common with age. Younger bodies might handle occasional exposure to these compounds with fewer immediate consequences, but for older adults, the cumulative damage can add up fast. If you've ever fried eggs in margarine or a bottle of bargain bin vegetable oil, you might have unknowingly introduced these risks into your diet. Take Frank, a 78-year-old who'd been cooking his morning eggs in the same generic vegetable oil for decades. It was a habit he picked up years ago: pour a glug of oil into the pan, crack the eggs, and call it breakfast. He never gave it much thought. Oil was just oil, right? But after attending a community health talk where he learned about the dangers of processed seed oils, Frank decided to experiment. He swapped out his old standby for butter one week and extra virgin olive oil the next. To his surprise, he started feeling less foggy and bloated after meals. His digestion improved, and he had a little more pep in his step. The eggs tasted better, too. It wasn't a drastic overhaul, just a smarter choice in how he prepared his food, and it made a tangible difference. The trouble with unhealthy oils often boils down to their smoke point, the temperature at which they start to degrade and release toxic byproducts. Many processed vegetable oils have low smoke points, meaning they can't handle the heat of a sizzling skillet without breaking down. When they do, they unleash free radicals, unstable molecules that bounce around your body, damaging cells, accelerating aging, and contributing to oxidative stress. Fry eggs at high heat in these oils day after day, and you're essentially cooking up a side of inflammation alongside your meal. Contrast that with healthier options like butter, ghee, coconut oil, or extra virgin olive oil. These fats are more stable under heat, meaning they're less likely to turn toxic when you cook with them. Butter and ghee bring a rich, satisfying flavor while delivering nutrients like vitamin A and butyrate, which supports gut health. Coconut oil, with its high smoke point and medium-chain triglycerides, offers a tropical twist and energy-boosting benefits. Extra virgin olive oil, a cornerstone of the Mediterranean diet, is packed with antioxidants and monounsaturated fats that protect your heart and brain. If you're looking for a neutral, versatile option, avocado oil is another winner. Its high smoke point and mild taste make it perfect for eggs, and it's loaded with healthy fats. The real lesson here isn't just about avoiding bad oils, it's about rethinking how you cook. Eggs are only as good as the way you prepare them. Pair them with a stable, nutrient-rich fat, and you've got a meal that nourishes your body and tastes incredible. Stick with the wrong oil, and you're undermining all that goodness, swapping health benefits for hidden risks. It's a small change with a big payoff, especially for seniors looking to stay vibrant and strong for years to come. Well, there you have it. 5 common mistakes that can turn eggs from a health-boosting powerhouse into a hidden risk, and the simple changes you can make to keep them safe and nutritious. Now that we've walked through all this together, I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you've learned today that surprised you or opened your eyes? Maybe it's cooking eggs on lower heat, checking their freshness with a water test, or swapping out that vegetable oil for something healthier. Whatever it is, drop a comment below and let me know one thing you're going to bring into your life from now on. Your insights mean a lot to us. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support helps us keep bringing you tips to live better every day. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.